Hey, this is Shaun with the Atlanta Tennis Podcast, powered by Go Tennis. Check out our calendar of Metro Atlanta tennis events at letsgotennis.com. And if you know Bike Friendly Atlanta, or even if you don't know Bike Friendly Atlanta, you can go to bikefriendlyatl.org and check them out, like and subscribe on social media. They are doing good things to keep our streets safer. Also, we want to hear your story on the podcast. So if you have a story to share, something fun, something exciting, something interesting, something boring, we don't care. Just tell us a story. Go to letsgotennis.com/my story, and you might have your story featured on the Atlanta Tennis Podcast. Today, this is the ultimate guide to getting your kids started playing tennis. Today, we're talking about many things the kids don't need, what your kid doesn't need happening while they're playing a match. Dave, this seems more getting them more than getting them started. It sounds to me like this is helping them continue to enjoy the sport once they've started. If they've gotten to a point that they can play a match. A lot of kids, tennis for children, they're not ready to play a match. They're 7, they can't rally, they're not there yet. But even then, it's not too far off where we ask the parents to go find something to do. Right? Go, you can watch, that's fine, but I don't need you sitting there helping your kid take a lesson with me. We don't need that. And so it's more after they're playing matches or while they're taking the lesson, whatever that is. Does that sound accurate? This is more of a parent helping the kid enjoy it once they've started?
Absolutely. 100%. I've seen it for, I used to could say longer than you've been alive, but that's not true anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah. But I have seen it for quite a long time. The part of learning and growing in tennis that was the most enjoyable to me in hindsight was the fact that most of it, because I did not have all the resources that a lot of kids have today. I didn't have lessons all over the place, didn't have lessons at all. So I learned most of it, like the social aspect, which was asking Shaun if he wants to play tennis, and Shaun going, no, I got a date. And I go, well, can you postpone the date?
Priorities, Shaun, priorities.
But that's right, priorities, my friend. Come on, dude. I've only got 3 people to play with. I need all 3 of you to play. Not on the same day either. We're going to get a schedule together. But most of it I learned from doing it on my own. Like I said, the social aspect, the aspect of getting you on the tennis court and understanding that you on the move, trying to call a ball, trying to hit it, all that together. And we're both trying to keep score and all that in the early phases. That is hard. That is hard. And we as parents sit back and, kind of like my boy, Ted Lasso says, be curious, not judgmental. And I take that phrase from that show, and it is so poignant that we judge our kids at 9, 10 years old on, oh my gosh, look what they're not doing. And you got to forget you're an adult. You're used to multitasking and doing things most of the time pretty well, but these are 8, 10-year-old kids that multitasking and focusing is one of the hardest things they're ever going to do as of this moment. And you're asking them to do 2 and 3 things at one time. And then they miss a call. Oh my God, we're going to lose Wimbledon on that call. You got to be joking. Let them figure it out. What I learned the hard way and the proper route was, if I did not like the call and I'm that good, hit the ball farther in the court. That way Shaun knows it's in. He can't really hook me. Not that he's doing it intentionally. It's just he's moving and all that's going on. And that little ball moving across that line at 30, 40 miles an hour, even at 10 and 12-year-old speed, is still fast. And we haven't learned to judge the ball by the flight. You and me both know now. I'd stand at the net and you hit a ball at me, and I can tell you if it's a foot in, 6 inches in or out, just by the flight of the ball. occasionally I'm wrong. When I say occasionally, it might be 1 out of 30.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not wrong that often because I've seen the flight of the ball that much. But these kids haven't. They're not even judging when to take it on the rise or when to take it on the downfall, or maybe take it in the air. They haven't judged that yet enough to know what to do. So to throw in your side criticisms of, oh well, we would have won that match or we lost that match because of that line call or that, you need to stop that. That is something that you don't think it gets to your kid. Like, does it get to them? Yes, it does. Your friends, their friends will tell them, oh my gosh, your dad thinks you lost a match because of that 1 or 2 or 3 line calls. It gets back to you and it doesn't resonate well.
You're not doing your kids any favors by acting like that. Because I heard something recently, and it was always act as though someone is watching. And I thought that was an interesting thing. Like, I think I know Christians have that idea, Jesus is always watching, or
sure,
whatever that is, right? You always
right,
feel like there's some external judgment
sure,
that someone's watching. When you're a kid, what we have is we call Rule 22. Rule number 22 is own your mistakes.
right.
Okay. Assume that I have you on the baby cam
Yep.
eating the toy. And then when you come to me and say, no, Dad, I didn't eat the toy, assume I'm watching. Assume, just own it. Just go ahead and own it. But
Right.
in that case, this is the parent that we have to remind them, guys, assume your kid is watching you and consider your own behavior. Now, Dave, how many kids have you met in your career that cheat intentionally?
I would honestly say out of, let's say 100%, it's literally 1% maybe.
Less than 1% is what I would
Yeah,
guess. 1% or less.
It's more of a situation. It's not that, and it's really not a situational call. I have had to deal with people that I honestly, I hear the phrase "birds of a feather flock together," and I have found in my history that people that shave you a little bit, don't give you the close calls too often. Um, they stay together quite a bit. It's kind of interesting to watch. I've seen that firsthand in money tournaments and stuff, and so I know when I go into those matches, my gun is loaded, but I'm also not going to give them that chance at the situation.
Well, like you said, aim further in from the line. But really, we're talking here about the beginner kids, and they don't have that mentality. And a cheating mentality usually isn't what's happening. I think what we're describing is these kids have no idea where the ball bounced. They don't know. They're just looking up, going, out. And you know what? You roll with it. You're like, oh, okay. No, I was pretty sure that was in, but that's all right. Maybe the kid missed the call. But I have found 99% plus, if that line call is out, is an accident. What I've also found is the kids at the beginner levels, at the lower levels, are more likely to call a ball in when it's out because they don't know.
Right.
Than out when it's in because they can get that concept. But they're more likely to miss a call. And I'm not talking adults. I'm not talking about fully functioning adults that are choosing to make this call. We're talking about kids. They can hardly walk and chew gum at the same time. The parents look at me and go, why do you call that ball out? I'm like, because he doesn't know where it bounced. It's okay.
Right.
Just let him make a choice and we're going to move on. But in this case, it's about the parent trying not to help. All right. We also have another rule called rule number 2, and it is do not help someone without their permission.
Yeah.
And parents are allowed to break that rule with their own children. You're allowed to help your child without their permission at times. Like, that's a rule a parent can break. So it's a hard one for a parent even to understand. But in this case, the coach and the match coordinators are asking parents, please don't help. Please don't help. You're looking through a chain link fence, first of all. You're who knows how far away. You're looking at an angle. You're going to yell at some 9-year-old that the ball was in. You're missing the point of why the kids are there, right? You're yelling out, no, it's 30 all. Like, maybe is this us being old school, Dave, that says let the kids out there figure it out on their own? Is that just too old school for today's world?
No, I think you learn much more than just a line call in this situation. You learn how to deal with another person, another human being of your age, your peers, and you learn to um, basically interact with a person. If mommy and daddy are always interacting for you, you're never going to learn this trait. And how you learn to deal with it and how you learn to adjust to it is a important fact of life. There are people like I heard somebody the other day say, some people that come into up under your wing or whatever you want to call it into your little circle are not meant to be there forever. Some people come in just for a season, and when they leave, don't be sad because they were not meant to be there forever. They're meant to be there just for a season, and that's okay. So, your stepping stone, if you wanted to go up in any ladder of any success endeavor, you're going to have people come and go, and you need to learn from it and move on. And that's a hard dose for parents to back up. Well, I know they're just 10. Yeah, when you going to let them grow up? You from 10, you've only got 8 years, 7, 8 years left, and then they're going to college. So guess what? It's over then. So the sooner they fall, the more they learn, the better they get back up. And that is an important thing, is to learn how to put a band-aid on it and keep on moving. So
Again, I think that's old school though. I think that's us saying, hey guys, you need to let these kids figure it out. I know there's a psychological necessity that children have in their development, which is
yep,
about negotiating among their peers
yep,
especially in the unstructured play time. You send the kids out, they're all different ages. They got to figure out how to negotiate, create their own hierarchies, those kinds of things. But in these structured play scenarios, this is where they're learning to play within the rules they've been given, and they need to figure out how to do that. Now they're kids. They're still going to push the boundaries. They're still going to figure
sure,
out what to get away with to an extent, but they also want to follow the rules. They want to, the kid I think is most structured that I'm dealing with right now is rule based, but she's the first one to go out and she'll look at me like, did I get it right? I'm like, no,
right,
no, that ball is way in. She's not malicious in the line call. She just
right.
doesn't know how to use her eyeballs to watch the bounce and figure that out while running and trying to get her racket ready. Like, you just can't do all those things at the same time when you're
Nope.
young. And literally the line call is a question. It was like, Uncle Shaun, did I get it right?
That's right.
And,
That's right.
and that's just a fun thing that we get to see. And as a parent, I can only imagine myself. Look, my child's 19 months old as we're recording this. I can only
Right.
imagine myself in a few years having to sit back. You had the duct tape on your mouth at one point, right? We're playing with your own kids.
Yeah.
Can you do the same thing at their matches? I think is the question.
Absolutely. I think, I'm not telling you to go and not pay attention. I'm not telling you to go and not have anything to go home with. If they ask you for advice or ask you, can I do something better? What did I do good? What did I do bad? Then that's fine. Answer them. But if you start in their ear with anything other than, so how's your day going?
Yeah.
When you get
Did you
in the
have fun?
car, yeah, did you have fun? Did you enjoy doing that? Or what did you get out of it? Then you're going down the wrong street. You should get on a different road because they are not on that road. And that's one thing I was always very careful with my daughters about, was not getting into their match unless they ask me to be there. And then I'll give you, they know that I'm pretty straightforward. I know what they can do, what they can't do. And I usually will not attack them. I will ask them, did you execute like you thought you could? And if you did and you got beat, guess what? We just got to keep up in that a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay.
Exactly. And for us, it's interesting because we're parent and coach.
Yeah.
And that's a unique situation. Most parents are just parent. And in that case, be a parent. Don't be the screaming parent on the side. Just don't be that person. Now I'm guessing some of you parents, I'm looking at you parents, some of you can't help yourselves. So figure out how to be that.
Yep.
Right? Cheer, have fun, be that encouraging parent. Nobody wants to be that parent. And maybe somebody does, I don't know. But Nobody wants to see the parent. Nobody else wants you to act like that if you have that problem. But this is a lot about what the kids don't need. And I think maybe that parent is struggling to realize it's not about them, that they can't help, not only can't, but shouldn't in those situations. Dave, I appreciate it as always.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. And this has been the ultimate guide to getting your kids started playing tennis. And today we actually talked about maybe an idea of how to keep them playing tennis and how to have them enjoy it and keep your own blood pressure as a parent in the green. Dave, I appreciate it. See you next week. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.